Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more CasterMuse Narak StarLeague. This is the loser match of Group B. You're almost done the round of 32, and this one is going to be casted quite a bit differently from most of the games on this channel because, well, I'm playing in it. I am the magenta Terran in the bottom right of Allegro here, and in the top right we have Paralyze, the pro gamer Protoss. Okay, so you know, I feel like I opened pretty well against Ride Sky in that first game. I wasn't feeling too bad about my play. It wasn't perfect, but at least the opening was all right. Here against Paralyze, like, honestly, TVP is the matchup that I work on a lot. At this exact moment against Paralyze, I was kind of working through some things in TVP. TVP is a complicated matchup, and it's the first matchup that actually falls apart without mass practice. This is something that was measured when the StarCraft 1 pros switched to StarCraft 2. As soon as their attention was divided, Terran versus Protoss win rates like plummeted insanely low. Like, Protosses were basically winning every game. So basically, it's just a matchup where you really have to be on top of everything as Terran. Now, obviously, this is not any sort of excuse. Paralyze is a lot better than me. But what I'm trying to say here is basically I was kind of working through some stuff, trying to re-optimize some parts of my game, which is something that I think as a Terran player you have to consistently do, like every month or two. You have to kind of look at everything and re-question how and why you're doing all these things. Now, Paralyze gets the first scout off, so that, of course, is a bit annoying. One way that you can deal with this, if they get their probe here this early, is to not scout yourself for a little bit, right? Because the Terran early build orders are optimized to have a scout out on the map at 13 supply against Protoss. But when you have to chase a probe nonstop... Oh, man, this is so painful and embarrassing. And he's going to get it, isn't he? Oh, my God, I don't remember. Dude, that is so insane how much damage a probe can do. Look at this. He's not even through his shields yet. It's crazy. Anyways, the builds are optimized so that you have one probe out scouting, but you could one SCV out scouting. But when you have to keep on attacking the probe and trying to defend, that's insane. By the way, that's crazy. Okay, if I could bring a little bit of salt from the stream into the casting channel, it's insane what the probe can do. It is absolute madness. Okay, and this isn't just me. Like, he's better than me, but like, Protosses do this to the best Terrans in the world regularly. It's crazy. So, anyways, look at my SimCity here. This SimCity is specifically trying to, and this is a little bit of a late factor now, but specifically trying to block Zealot harassment. So what this does, there's a micro hole here. This is 1 SCV thick, and this is a full wall, right? And then you put the depot here. So the only ways in are through this or down through here. So this is a very well-defended base. Like, I can't really take damage from Zealots here. My SCV does go up and get a scout off. I know where his base is and everything. And I have to hold this as well as I possibly can. A bunch of damage there on the probe. Very nice. The Zealot is taking a little bit. Here comes another Zealot. I start to bring my Marines out. I'm not actually aware that the second Zealot is on the way. I'm trying to kill this one off ASAP. And then another one pops in. So, nice little split on the Marines there. I am taking a bit of damage, unfortunately. But yeah, now you just kind of have to target, right? Target that down. If the probe comes back, target that. So this was actually it was a pretty good hold. The factory's like slightly later than we want. The positioning is not fantastic. But hey, we lived, right? And there's enough units here to push down and take my front and be able to expand and all that. Enough money right now for the command center as well. You just have to make sure when you go for 3 depot openers, you have to get that bunker up actually more quickly than 2 depot openers. Because if you try to slip the command center in and you don't make this, it's like everything's just kind of slowed, right? So the second Dragoon is always going to come down. Here we put a lot of damage on that Dragoon, so that's kind of nice. It's amazing, honestly, watching a game that I played and analyzing it from like a little bit ago and just being like, ooh, me right now is much better than this, I feel like. You know what I mean? Obviously, I practice 5 days. 5 days a week, 5 hours a day, so I guess it makes sense. But here, I feel like, you know, I parried it reasonably well. Let's look at the timing. The Nexus is not that far ahead of the command center, so that's not too bad. Worker count is within 1, so that's pretty good. 3 Dragoons attacking, that's very annoying. But we have a siege tank on the way already. I did make an additional Marine there. I think that is to probably push back. One move, that right there, by the way, was a scout just to check on the command center. It's worth it to him to lose a little bit of hit points to make sure that he knows the command center's on the way, as opposed to like a 2-factory push. Now you can see back up here, he's got his robo up and going into his second gate. So a non-committal build from him. It could just be 2-gate observer. It could be 2-gate observer into Reaver. You can't really tell. And obviously I don't have a scout out to see that. So anyways, with the second tank coming out, in this type of situation where they've taken some damage on the goons, especially this one, it's a very good move to go 2 tanks, 4 Marines, and you just kind of push all the goons back. That's going to allow you to get out on the map with vultures and lay some mines to see when they're doing things like taking expansions. In the meantime, I've got the armory on the way, as well as an engineering bay. So just kind of playing it safe at this point. And all right. Looks like up here he's getting ready to take his own third base. Pretty standard stuff. Pretty standard timing on that. And it is just 2-gate observer at the moment. Of course, we don't know what follow-up he'll do. Well, I do because I played the game. But just laying a couple mines. This is a little bit overly defensive, I would say, but I don't actually know what his tech is, right? My SCV died before the robo went up. So just a little bit of safety there. Vulture's running around trying to get some scouting. You can see that his unit movement is really, really nice. Very crisp. Brings the Dragoons over. He's flanking the Vulture coming in. And that's a bit painful, right? Like, I'm losing a couple Vultures there. I get a scout off. I have a much better idea of what's going on at this point, but that's it. A couple defensive turrets are going to go up. A couple things to note, and these are actually things that since I played this game, I've fixed a lot of this, but like for instance, this second factory is very, very late here. You never want to get the second factory this time. It's better to skip siege mode and just make it more quickly. The second gas is a little bit quick here as well. But if you look at the actual production, you know, there's some decent things going on. The speed upgrade, by the way, doesn't make sense because of how slow the second factory is. If you get the second factory more quickly, then the speed upgrade would make more sense. But like the worker production has been pretty even here. Paralyze just setting up a row of Dragoons so that I cannot get out. I can't go like run any vultures by or do any harassment or anything. In the meantime, he's just going into speed Reaver, so like a very kind of middle of the road follow-up, right? He's not rushing into Arbiter. He's not rushing into carriers either. Instead, going for speed shuttles. This is giving him a lot of flexibility to stop pushes and a lot of flexibility to harass. And from there, he'll very likely take a 4th base quickly. And here you can tell I'm not very optimized, right? Again, this is some stuff that I've fixed more recently, like literally within the last couple weeks. But this academy, a little bit too fast, I would say. The starport, totally fine. But you don't see a real plan here. Not too much of one. Like, there is a plan. Like, I remember my plan here was, like, I'm going to go up to 5 factories. I'm going to really mass units, and then I'm going to take my third. But it's a little bit antiquated, that way of playing. Now, you can see the shuttle coming in, and unfortunately here, I don't have the best turret placement. I have 2 turrets here. I'm trying to skimp on that, and I made this additional Goliath, and notice that he instantly targeted it. And the shuttle is at 12 hits. 12 hit points. So if I had microed a little bit better there, I could have gotten rid of the shuttle and the Reaver Harass would have been over. Instead, the Reaver Harass will continue. So this is incredibly annoying that I did not deal with this well. Now speed is done, and he can do some more. I'm losing a bunch of mining time during all this as well. Oh, man. It's painful to watch. But yeah, definitely some little mistakes here. Not the best Reaver defense, not the best micro against the Reaver either. The Reaver's getting a huge amount of damage. Bunch of very red SCVs in there. And you can see now, I was actually even with him on workers for quite some time. And now he's up like almost 20. In the meantime, he's had full 4-gate production going, as well as the Robo. Citadel on the way for Zealot legs, and probably a Templar Archives. This does look like a build that will go into Templar Archives. But yeah, I'm down 20 workers, a 67 supply to 115, so definitely not looking good. The build that I did here, just not well optimized. A big part of that was the slow second factory. Another part was not either having better missile turret coverage or microing better against the shuttle. Either one of those would have been good. Instead, I did take pretty significant damage and lost mining time. The Academy, a little bit fast here, considering the build that I was doing, right? If you're going to go Armory plus Engineering Bay, you should be pushing that Academy way back in your build order and just countering everything that they can do. So, not looking too good for the Artosis at this point. Paralyze gets that 4th Nexus, just about done. It's adding another 6 gateways up, so going up to 10 gate production, plus the Robo still pumping out Reavers and whatnot. And from here, we should be seeing like a lot of Zealots coming out. His Dragoon count is actually quite healthy, right? We have 8 there. We have another 11 there. So that is a lot of Dragoons. Plus he's got Reavers, and now it's Zealot time. You can see, yeah, 9-gate Zealot being pumped at the moment. And this is like a pretty common thing you see from Protoss, where they get the 3rd base up, they go Reaver, and then you just kind of like really mass gateway units. And if Terran didn't do a well-optimized build very, very well, you see the supply just spike up for Protoss really quickly, and Terran can just get run over. You see here, I'm just starting to set up some anti-Reaver, some anti-speed shuttle harassment, multiple turrets, the natural not as well defended we see. And yeah, he's just he's being a little bit of a globetrotter right there. Dropping out the Zealot to take the tank hits to pick off. But yeah, my army not so large. We're down a good 60 supply right now, 12 of which is workers. But yeah, you at this point you really need to be at 140 supply as Terran. It's incredibly important, and like everything has to go towards that specific optimization. And if you don't have it, you can just die, which is something that you're about to see. So Speed Zealot's coming in. High Templar's starting to be pumped out here to go with Psystorm as well, just kind of transitioning slightly. Is Paralyze here. Checking out for hidden bases and whatnot at this point. He's wondering what the hell I'm doing. Probably wondering why he's playing such a weak opponent. But yeah, this is a huge army. And you can see he's just kind of like made this arc, and he's maxed out. So to hold against a maxed attack like this, you need 140 supply, like I mentioned. I'm at 123. So this is not going to be holdable. Almost doesn't even matter what position my units are in. It's just mathematically you don't have what you need here. And so he just kind of attack moves in, and that is going to end up being the game. So big thanks to CasterMuse for inviting me to the tournament. I always have fun playing in things like this, even if I get absolutely destroyed. You can learn a lot watching your games here. But GG, and Paralyze will go on to fight against Absolute for that final spot in the round of 32.